Hey everyone, just want to show off my collection of Deadite Press books. If you don't know who Deadite Press is, they're a book publisher, which they make some of the most fucked up books you'll ever read, and they're really proud of it because I think they even say so on the website how they publish books that are incredibly messed up. I forget their exact slogan, but they have some really good books if you're into hardcore horror, and also they have some amazing art. I'll show off some of the books. This is a book called Clickers. Yeah, you just get the lighting a little bit. This one's basically about these crustaceans. They come to a small town, I believe in Maine. Yeah, Phillipsport, Maine. But basically, these crustaceans they have these incredible, powerful pincers that can just cut through human limbs like butter. And they also, the crustaceans are about the size of a dog, if I remember correctly. But they also have these stingers that they can sting people with that melts flesh and causes to boil. So it has some pretty intense kills. So if you want some creature flick thing, I guess this would probably be your thing, because this is really, it's a pretty fun novel. Although, like I said, really graphic. Because there's one kill. It was either in this book or one of the sequels, but it's basically where a guy gets stunned in the stomach by one of the clickers, and it causes the flesh, like his organs inside of his stomach, to start boiling and get melted, and then it starts expanding because it's melting and it's creating some type of gas. His stomach keeps expanding and expanding, then it just explodes, an explosion of blood and pus. So I guess that gives you an idea how these kind of books are. I would say that, this book and the sequels, it has kids being killed in it, so maybe if you're not, that's too far for you, maybe don't check these books out. But anyways, I'll just move on to the other ones. This is Clickers 2. It's basically more the same, but just all good, horror sequels. They up the body count and the carnage, so it's basically just like the first one, except it takes place on a much bigger scale and much more, death and destruction. Third one. This one is a little different because it takes place, has kind of a different tone, but still really gory. But it also takes place on a small island where people are hoping to get rid of the clickers once and for all. And this one, like I said, all these ones I really enjoyed. There's only one Clickers book I haven't read, but it's called Clickers versus Zombies, and it's basically a zombie book mixed with the clickers, but it's from a zombie book called The Rising, which I haven't checked out. I always meant to, but I never got around to it because people say it's an amazing zombie book. But I'm kind of bored of zombies, so maybe eventually. Anyways, but there's another book called Swarm of Flying Eyeballs. When I saw this cover, I was just kind of like, oh, I need this book. Because, come on, look at this cover, it's amazing. I bought it, and I was really enjoying it, but then I was really disappointed how short it was. It had such an abrupt ending. So that was my only complaint. But, I'll just say a little bit about the book. It's basically about a field trip for a school. They're picking blueberries. And, some of the kids are having fun, the other kids think it's boring as hell. But anyways, what happens was the blueberries, they start to move. And then they start to transform into eyeballs. And they grow wings and a tail and fangs, and they just start, flying around and just causing havoc. So I hope that was just kind of man, that's amazing. So I bought this book, but again, like I said, a few seconds ago, that I was pretty disappointed how abrupt and sudden the ending was. That was my own complaint, because I felt with this, it's the author could have done a lot more with it, but I'm still happy with the book. It actually comes with 2 stories. The second one's called Smirk. I'll read the synopsis one, because the synopsis for this one, because I always think it's funny. This is what it says. Man sees woman. Man becomes smitten. Woman smirks. Man abducts women. Man hates women. Man gets a lot more than he expected. Yeah, that's actually how they wrote it. But yeah, it's a guy, he sees an attractive woman at the grocery store. He flirts with her, but she just smirks, that's the name, and she just sort of tells him that she's not interested. So he gets pissed off, and then when she's putting groceries in her car, he kidnaps her. But then, he gets a lot more than he expected. This one was really good. I felt like kind of made up for the, you know, the kind of disappointing ending for Flying Eyeballs. This one is probably the most messed up book I've ever read. I wouldn't recommend this book unless you want to like throw up. But it's called His Pain. Yeah, the cover is really weird. But yeah, this one I don't really want to go into too much what's it about. So I'll just go into the synopsis. Life is pain, or at least it is for Jason. Born with a rare central nervous disorder, every sensation is pain. Every sound, scent, texture, flavor, even every breath he takes brings nothing but mind-numbing pain. His days are spent in a padded room, addicted to every narcotic known to man. At night, he is sealed in a sensory deprivation bag to block out the entire world. Pain is all Jason has ever known about the world. Until the arrival of Yogi, I can't say this guy's last name, but he's like, they don't really say where he's from, but it's like hinted maybe he's from India or something. So, anyways, but he's from this place called the Temple of Physical Enlightenment. He claims to be able to help Jason, to help give him a life more than just agony. But the treatment leaves Jason chained, and he wants to share what he has learned. He wants to share his pain. But yeah, this one is really graphic, gory, and also had some like really messed up sexual stuff in it. So yeah, maybe don't get that one unless you want to get grossed out. Anyways, also sorry about the terrible lighting. I try to get the light right, but it's either it's too bright or too dark. So I just said screw it, whatever. Anyways, this is another novel from the same author of His Pain. It's called Son of a Bitch. It's basically about a demonic dog-human hybrid creature that goes, basically just kills a bunch of people in Philadelphia. This one also, it's incredibly messed up, really graphic. Also, the characters, they're pretty bad people. They just say some really terrible things, and they just do some really terrible things. And I was like thinking to myself, like, damn, this book is just, it's like, is anyone likable? There's also some really fucked up stuff that happens to animals in this book. I don't want to go further into that, but yeah, so this one, again, don't get it unless you want to get grossed out. That's why after reading these two books from this author, I was just kind of like, I think I had enough of this book. I mean, he's good at what he does, but it's just, yeah, there's only, like, I don't know, it's just kind of, too far sometimes. This one I really liked, and this one's actually a homage to Richard Lehman novels. This one's called Castaways. It's very similar to his book called Island. But basically, this is a reality survival show, kind of like, what was the one? I can't remember the name of the show, but it's kind of like that show, I guess, Survivor, if that's what it's called. I never watched that show. But anyways, these people are supposed to survive on an island. But what they don't know is that there's these creatures here, like these weird primate-like creatures out there. So basically, they, a lot of bad stuff starts happening. I'll read it, the synopsis for you. They came to the desert island to compete on a popular reality television show. Each one hoped to be the last to leave. Now they're just hoping to stay alive because the island isn't deserted after all. Contestants are disappearing, but they aren't being eliminated by the game. They're being taken by the monstrous half-human creatures that live deep in the jungles. The men will be slaughtered, the women will be kept alive as captives. Night is falling, the creatures are coming, and rescue is so far away. Deadite Press is proud to present Brian Keene's tribute to the late, great Richard Lehman. Because, yeah, this book is actually... I read this book first before I read any Richard Lehman books, but after reading a few of Richard Lehman novels, I was kind of like, yeah, actually, this is pretty similar to Richard Lehman's work. So I gotta really see what the author was going for. Because, yeah, Brian Keene mentions a few times that he's a huge fan of Richard Lehman. This one I got because of the cover. Pretty much all my friends, they know about this book because I always talk about it nonstop because, I'm crazy, but... This one's called Bigfoot Crank Stomp. I just love the cover. When I first saw it, I instantly bought it. But basically, this was actually my first Deadite Press book, if I'm correct. My memory's a little fuzzy, but... This one's really fun, but it's basically about Bigfoot. He's addicted to like meth, and he just goes on a rampage looking for more drugs in the woods. I'll read the synopsis. Bigfoot is real, and he's addicted to meth. It should have been so easy. Get in, kill everyone, and take all the money and drugs. That was Russell and Mickey's plan. But the drug den they were raiding in the middle of the woods holds a dark secret chained up in the basement, a beast filled with rage and methamphetamine. And tonight it will break loose. Nothing can stop a Sasquatch on a drug-fueled rampage. And before the sun rises, there's going to be a lot of dead cops and junkies. This one's really fun, but yeah, again, just like I keep saying this, but like all Deadite Press books is pretty messed up. But this one I feel it's kind of hard to, it's, you know, maybe more, it's not too hard to, what's the word? It's hard to take this seriously just because it's so over the top, like its setting, it's like how can you take a book about Bigfoot going on a drug-fueled rampage seriously? So, you know. Okay, this one I think is the most recent Deadite Press book I've read. Really, this one I really liked. It's called Darkness on the Edge of Town, but this one I'll read the synopsis for it well. One morning, the residents of Walden, Virginia, woke up to find the rest of the world gone, just gone. Surrounding their town was a wall of inky darkness, plummeting Walden into permanent night. Nothing can get in, not light, not people, not even electricity, radio, television, internet, food, water, and nothing can get out. No one who dared to penetrate the mysterious barrier has ever been seen again, only those screams were heard. But for some, the darkness is not the worst of their fears. Driven mad by thirst, hunger, and petrol night, the residents of Walden are ready to explode. The last few sane prisoners of the small town must prepare for a final stand against their neighbors, themselves, and something even worse, something out there in the darkness. But yeah, this book is really good. It has such a great feeling of dread and isolation, and you can just basically relate to you can just feel the helplessness of these characters. Really good. Okay. So let's get a little hot in here, but this is the last Deadite Press book, and this one is, well, again, one of my favorites from them. This one's called Reincarnage. Hope we can get the lighting right, but basically, you see this guy, he's wearing all this camo gear, he has a gas mask on, and he also has, a gun. I think that's just a shotgun on his back. Can't tell, but anyway. But this is basically a Friday the 13th novel in book form, sort of. I say sort of because it does the things differently. This one I really enjoyed. I'll read the synopsis. In the 80s, a supernatural killer known as Agent Orange terrorized the United States. No matter how many times he was killed, he kept coming back to spread death and mayhem. With no other choice, the government walled off the small town, woods, and lake that Agent Orange used to use as his hunting grounds. This seemed to contain the killer, and his killing spree ended, or so the populace thought. But in reality, the government has been kidnapping citizens and giving them to Agent Orange to sate his bloodlust. A group of people from all walks of life now find themselves trapped and fighting for their lives against an unstoppable killer. But yeah, this one, as the cover says, people being kidnapped and being sent to this area that's completely walled off, so they can basically keep Agent Orange happy, so he won't escape and start killing people outside the wall. Really good book, has some really amazing kills. I haven't read it in a long time, but I do remember really enjoying it. Anyways, but that's all my Deadite Press books. I thought I should show them because they're one of my favorite publishers. Because unlike a lot of publishers nowadays, they do amazing artwork for the books. Because I feel like they don't cheap out on them. Because I feel like some horror books, I know I'm just sounding some hipster kind of guy here, but they felt like they spent 10 minutes on a computer making the covers. So not a fan of that. Anyways, but I'll see you guys later. Take care.